we've had the pre-show. We've had the FarmCon pre-show where they've, let's face it, given us a little bit extra. Yeah, what's coming up on the FS25 game. So let's take a quick look. The first thing they showed off was the update to the Giants Engine 10. Obviously, this is what's bringing in the fog feature. And to be fair, as it's going over the water, in between the trees, this fog effect looks brilliant. I mean, all the gameplay that we've seen so far, it does look absolutely ace. I mean, even like with the trees, you've got there, like the rays of light, what do they call them? God rays coming through the trees. They look, I mean, that one there, that is epic. Absolutely epic. You've got the shadow on the ground, you've got the rays coming through the trees. Now we're going through a bit of forest as well. I mean, it just looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now we've got the tractor coming through. Obviously, driving in the fog is going to be a little bit different than you would be normal. But that, I mean, just look at that building. That looks ace. Oh, absolutely ace. Oh, I can't wait to have a go in this fog. I mean, it's going to add something totally different. Obviously, in the real life, when you're driving in fog, it's a little bit, you got to have your wits about you. So it's going to be the same with the farming now, which is ace, absolutely ace. Obviously, a bit more ground fog on the go. So sort of like early in the morning, that sort of thing. You know, fresh dew maybe on the ground. Yeah, I like this. This is a brilliant addition to the game. And then they touched on the clouds, which I thought that was something interesting. Obviously, you got the shadow of the clouds, you know, clouds being between you and the sun, and it's going to put different shadows on the ground. I mean, obviously, farming's farming at the end of the day. You plant stuff, you harvest stuff, that's what it is. But everything else is for the immersive spirit of the whole thing. I mean, the cloud shadows, that is brilliant. And also part of the engine update is going to be basically the foliage. The foliage is just going to be so much better. I mean, this tree here looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. And as it pans up, you can just see like the individual leaves and the branches. That is ace. I mean, some of these screenshots, I mean, some of this footage, it looks like it could be live. I mean, to be fair, I'd say the wheat there, the other things look better. I will say that. But the trees, mind you, the trees look awesome. And we did get a quick glimpse at the new map. So the new American map is going to be River Bend Springs. And one of the, I say, highlights to it is going to be this long road that goes pretty much, according to Kermit and the other Giants people that are on the live stream, that it's going to be all the way across the map. You know, like a long American road where you just get in there, stick it in your top gear and then just cruise. Oh, that's alright. Also, part of the map is obviously going to be somewhere for you to get your stuff. So, a garage to buy your vehicles, a petrol station to fill it up with gas or diesel, well, whichever one you want to go for. And then, obviously, you're going to need somewhere to get your animals from. And to be fair, that animal dealer looks ace. Old school, sort of like small town America. And when you come around the side, it's actually got live animals. Live animals in the animal dealer. Now, I know we've seen this on mod maps before, but base game, that is ace. I mean, if this is the base game, what are the modders going to do with it? Then here we see another main part of the map. Obviously, River Bend Springs is going to have a big river in it, and a few creeks and whatnot. And obviously, you still got the fog there. The fog over the river, but it's the reflections. And now, we've got a ferry. You can use this to get across the river. You can bring your tractor and whatever onto the back of that ferry, move it across the river, and away you go. But just look at the water, look at the ripples coming off the back of whatever you're on. And the reflections in the water, that is awesome. We're coming up a hill now. There's like a little creek there, running down. I mean, to be fair, right, the graphics that we've seen so far, you can 100% understand why they've gone away from old gen. You know, sticking with PC, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, you can totally understand, but with just what we're seeing so far, and I'll imagine this is only going to be a little bit of it, but these are awesome. And obviously you carry on with a bit more forestry, and we've got a little bit of a track, because obviously on the main, well, the cinematic trailer, we've seen him on a bike, and you're going to use a bike for getting up narrow paths, a bit like this here. Obviously, again, the trees, the foliage look absolutely brilliant. Little track on your dirt bike, away you go. I mean, it peels out into a slightly bigger track where you get, so I don't know, small tractor maybe, medium at a push up there. But obviously this is not going to be a flat map. There's got some hills on it. And obviously come out there like that as well. I mean, just the detail, the graphics look so much better. And then we've got a little hidey hole to take a look at as well. And something that was obviously part of the main trailer is going to be rice, but it's not going to be like normal. Because first off, you've got to do one sort of production chain. You've got to grow your rice saplings in a greenhouse. All right, fair enough. And this is where we sort of first see the new look of it. I mean, top right-hand corner there, you got your new game bar, whatever's going on. Bottom right-hand corner, obviously, you've got your production chain menus, sort of head-up display. That's the better way of putting it. So obviously that would have your field info one and your production chains. And then you've got your pallets. You've got your pallets of saplings for rice just there. That's a multi-step process for doing this rice. And then obviously, once you've got your saplings, you're going to need one of these. The old Iseki. Fair enough. Obviously, you're going to need to load it up. So you just back it up to the pallet like that. Obviously, fill it up. Which I'd imagine, if you're on Xbox, I'd imagine that's probably going to be left stick in. And then once you've loaded it up, this piece of equipment is ace. And we'll see a few other little touches as we get into the water. I mean, obviously you've got the pipe work there. It's filling up the field nicely. Yeah, that's great. But just the texturing. As it goes into the water, just look at the little ripples it makes. That's ace. I mean, it's rippling the water as you go through it. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, that is. And obviously, it's going to get itself going now. Going to be seeding some rice with this new Iseki. Fair enough. This looks ace. I mean, even like planting this, obviously going to unfold it and then lower it down. But like the whole thing moves across like a bit of a typewriter, they said in the live stream. But it's like plants it down and moves the whole framework across, does like one row, and then does the rest. That is awesome. Then we have got the old harvesting of the rice. So now the field is flooded when you start it off, because obviously rice uses a ton of water to get growing. But once it's done, there's no water left. So you're good to go with, I'm going to say, a standard harvester. This is one for if you're playing on the Asian map that's going to be coming out. Obviously, this is what they more than likely do, rather than the American style that we'll see in a minute. This is what they would use over there. Now, this reminds me of the whole root crop harvester from the premium expansion. It's got that sort of feel to it. Obviously by Iseki, it's going to be for your rice, the Japan 6130. Fair enough indeed. Now it works just the same as the root crop harvester. So you just go to it, lower it down, and then obviously away you go. Start harvesting your rice, no problem. So once it gets going, there we are. So turn it all on. There you go, little jaws lift it all up, and it goes up and away. And this is it's got a great animation on it once it gets going. So line it all up, away you go. So obviously harvesting, no problem. A little bit of a dip going in, but obviously the field is lower down because of putting the water in. You want the water to stay there. As we spin it around this side, you see it there. You go in the front, round to the side, like folds up. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So for the American style one, obviously we had the previous Iseki one for the Asian map, and this is going to be American style farming of your rice. Now you do need to flood the field, is what they said on the live stream, but the same thing applies. Once the water's gone, you just come and use a normal header. But I will say this: there's a little something in the bottom right hand corner there. I'll just pause the video. It's a little something there. Yeah, that says GPS. I mean, to be fair, Kermit did mention it in the live stream, and I imagine there's going to be something coming out at a later date. But come on. Is that it? Is it right there? God, it is. So that's a little bit of information for you from the live stream before FarmCon 24. Now, obviously, this is going to be coming out in the game on the 12th of November. Now, there is a link down below if you're on PC. If you want to click on that, it helps to channel it out at no extra cost. Now, there's a second link down there as well. And apparently, that's for console players. All right, click on that if you're on console. Help the channel out as well. So that's it for the information from the FarmCon pre-show. Obviously, there's going to be more stuff coming out over the weekend, but we'll see what happens when that guild gets released.